Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited and I'll tell you why. Because we are here to launch the first ever virtual Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo. So it's going to be different, it's going to be exciting, and it is going places. Now, we all know that tourism is a core part of our economy as Ugandans. So why are we here? It's very simple. The best person to get us going and to tell us why we're here will be none other than the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board, Lily Ajarova. Lily, good to have you here. Today we are talking about tourism. I mean, there's been so much positive and negative where tourism is concerned. Everybody's been talking about the way COVID has affected the tourism industry, but we'd like to hear from your perspective as the CEO of UTB. Where are we going with this? Is there a good side to it?
Thank you very much. It's great pleasure to have you all with us as we embark on the new way of doing business. We are going virtual with the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo 2021. We have always had Poate, that is the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, as a physical event. COVID-19 pandemic has brought transformation in the way we have to do our business. As Uganda Tourism Board, we have embraced the changes, and that's why we are going virtual this year with the Poate. And where are we with the tourism? First, I think we are at a point of optimism, and Poate 2021 is happening at the very best time, where we have hope. At a global level, we know that the pandemic, the spread of the COVID is going down. We have from World Health Organization, we have the statistics beginning this week that 350 million people have already been vaccinated, and out of that, 17 million people have the full vaccination administered to them. This is good news. It's opening the world for tourism. And what else? From IMF, their February report have got them adjusting the projections. The projections for the economic growth was at 0.5. That has been adjusted to 5.5, which is positive for us to know that even in the tourism industry, that the overall global economy is on the improvement, and we will have to position ourselves to tag along and have positive growth in the tourism sector. World Tourism Organization also projects that in 2021, there's already some growth over the year 2020. And they project that in 2022, we should rebound back in tourism from where we were before the pandemic. And if we look at what is happening in Uganda, back home here, the government of Uganda ordered for 18 million COVID-19 vaccine. And we have last month, end of March, we received 864,000 vaccine. This is being administered across the country. This is putting us in the best position in the tourism industry to know that we are a safe destination. We are protecting our staff, we are protecting everybody around us, and this should be able to give confidence to the tourists coming in, to the domestic tourists traveling around the country, that they are safe to travel within the country. Bank of Uganda statistics from the monetary policy report of February is also very encouraging, where they are talking of Ugandan's economic growth for 2021 being at 3.3. And these are very positive things, and there's no better time that we could be holding Pearl of Africa tourism expo than now to give hope for everyone, not just only in the tourism sector, but to everyone else within Uganda and internationally.
Wow, fantastic. Anili, there are a lot of great things that are happening in Uganda. One of the things which we can, without fear or favor, is take our hats off for the way we, and I say we because everybody in Uganda has been part of it, have managed ourselves during this COVID-19 period. Our numbers compared to a lot of our neighbors are considerably low. Um, is that one of the things that we can say the tourism industry is going to build on as we open up to the rest of the world?
Now, absolutely, there's nobody who wants to travel to a place which is unsafe.
Yes.
We have, as a country, we have managed the COVID pandemic situation very well, and credits to the government, that made sure that the necessary decisions were made in a very efficient manner. To where we are, we have the standard operating procedure, and from the tourism sector, we have rolled out this across the country. The accommodation facility owners have put in place all the necessary measures in place. This is being observed. So there is no better destination right now to travel to other than Uganda in comparison to what we see happening in the region and the continent specifically, and the world at large. And of course, this is something that is very encouraging for us, because if we are the safe destination, we hope that in the market out there, the internationals should be looking at Uganda, the safe place where they can go and take time off from all the lockdowns that they have had in Europe and elsewhere in the world.
That is very encouraging, I must say. Now, I'm going to skip to the far end. Dennis Ntege, you're a rafter, you're an entrepreneur, you actually are a lot of things. Okay. Now, based on that, I'd like to hear from you. With the current COVID situation, from looking in from the private sector, what do you see is the impact? Is there a positive side, or is it just all gloom, in your opinion?
Yes, there has been a lot of negative effects, like everybody has seen. The drops in revenue and all that, employment, all the sort of things. But one of the positives that is coming out of COVID is that lots of businesses have had to rethink the ways they do their business. And what has that created? It has created efficiency, probably for some people, with fewer staff. But to the customer that we all target is getting a very good experience. We have, as well, most of the tour operators will tell you that the cost of doing business is going to certainly change. So everyone is looking at how best to be able to restart, but doing things way differently. So yes, there is that positive on the form of efficiency, because for those that have had some business coming through, they have learned to do that with fewer numbers, but making some average margins. And also everybody has cut down on their way of life and their way of living, and we've survived. So really, I think that is one of the positive things to take away on a life perspective.
What's just one way that you think the private sector can prep itself for rebooting, especially where tourism is concerned?
Yeah, rebooting is, like you said, rebooting, one could be you look at the way you've been doing whatever you've been doing, adjust to the new normal, or just adopt new efficient ways of doing business and go by that. Some of the things we as private operators are looking at is one is the issue of liquidity. It's been a big issue. Lots of tour operators had to come up with short-term measures to actually cover the revenue gaps. So some of those short-term measures have actually run out of funds. So what we are trying to do is to look at the different projects around For example, PSFU is going to run a project through UTA on how to recover from this COVID, but more focus being on offering grants as a leading firm to help businesses on keeping people employed, but then also on digital marketing strategies and doing things differently to stay relevant. But more to it is that most of the businesses, most of the tour operators have actually opted for enrolling out on the digital platform because no one can travel anymore, but keeping those keeping relevant with our business networks, because we have realized one of the challenges that we met in the COVID era is that all our business networks were broken, were shattered, came to a standstill. So how do we then reboot these business networks? So we are focusing more on doing these virtual tours, and one of the very good things that comes out of our strategies is Poate, that will give us that platform to showcase what we have as a destination, but then also to reassure the market that we are out here, we are still strong and sound. Going by what our CEO has just mentioned on the positives of our destination handling COVID, it's one of those things that we are boasting about, that we've had a very good health policy. We had very good COVID regulations around. This is what we came out of. Fortunately, also, we are boasting about the issue of immunization. It's happening. And we are saying, yes, here we are ready to take you on to any of your adventures of a lifetime that you want to experience in Uganda. But more of it is that we as private operators, one, we are staying positive. We are looking at all these relief funds that can be available for us to look at. We are also tasking our line ministry and through the UTB, the agency that actually takes care of all our needs, to help talk our way through some of these issues. But also we've done a lot of rescheduling for our safaris. We've been lucky enough as well to get help from Uganda Wildlife Authority by issuing credit notes, for example, over the permits, the gorilla permits, the chimpanzee permits, over some of those advance payments that you had made. Most of the other operators who had advance bookings have also had, some of them have been lucky enough to be able to reschedule these for the future. And that gives us quite a lot of hope that the future is bright by giving commitment notes to our suppliers and to our clients. So we are hopeful that we'll have certainly a bright future after the world normalizes.
Amos, you are arguably one of the largest champions, and I say arguably because I think I'm a bigger champion of Uganda tourism than you are. I don't know, I don't get noticed, okay? But I mean, you're, as a property owner and also somebody who's been in the thick of things, literally from before COVID, you've built, especially from the private sector, just taking tourism forward on a general scale. COVID-19, of course, had an occupancy effect. I mean, people stopped traveling. We all know there were hiccups. How have you managed that business? And then how does something like Poate plug in to reboot? Because again, we're talking about rebooting, to reboot the whole occupancy situation.
So if they say we've got about 350 million people vaccinated now, it gives us hope. So we can now start thinking, where are the 350 million people that have been vaccinated?
Yeah.
And also we need to also be encouraged as Ugandans to go out there and get vaccinated, because it has a very positive connotation to us as a people. I've taken my shot. I'm waiting for my second shot. So as a Ugandan, male or female, go out there and get your vaccination, because it's also good for the country. It brings very good image to the country. Now, in 2016 May, the government of Uganda had 3 PR farms. One in the UK, one in Germany, and one in the US. Those PR farms did a fantastic job. And from the fantastic job they did, the numbers were just going high. People, in fact, the tour operators were keeping quiet now. They were not fighting each other because there was a lot of business that was coming in. But 2020 was supposed to be the boom year for Uganda. I don't think that there was going to be a year. I've been in tourism for 25 years tomorrow.
Wow.
And I've just made 48 years today, by the way, for your information. Tomorrow I make 20 years in owning a business. So it's quite a very special time for me as an individual as well. But the reality is that 2020 was going to be a fantastic year. We all had hope. As a person, I did a lot of investment. We did elephant planes. We bought a new boat, MV Kazinga, fantastic board. We made sure that we work on our things ready for 2020. December, I started hearing rumors. February, rumors are confirmed.
Yeah.
And we thought, all right, maybe by May, things will be fine. So we're all, okay, for businesses like mine, I've been around for a longer time. And we had a bit of savings. And these savings, and we didn't have a loan. So that was a very good thing. I think what COVID is going to do is teach people business. Business is just not about going out there and living extravagant lives. Business is not about spending as much as you can every time. You have to think about what they call it, the rainy day, when you cannot go and work, when you cannot do anything. So for us as a business, we've survived mainly because of the savings that we've had. Of course, they're going down. Every business has those challenges. We paid, for example, salaries for 7 months without reducing salaries. Then we reduced number of staff and then cut the pay to half. That also, I was extremely very disheartened. I remember when I was signing off dismissals, I did not read through any of the contracts because I just felt these guys are innocent. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to have life? But it was inevitable that had to be done. Now, when it comes to things like Poate, I think what Ugandans must recognize is that countries grow because of activities. Cities grow because of activities. Now, I always give an example of New York. New York makes $49 billion a year because mainly of activities. If you go there first week of September, you've got New York Fashion Week. 700,000 people flock to New York. Second week, you have the New York Tennis Open. 1 million people are sent to New York. If you go there third week of November, you have a New York Marathon. So all these activities throughout the year bring value. So for us, Poate would be one of those activities that are going to be, that we should harness to take advantage of, just like Kenya has. Now, if you look in terms of tourism expos, Uganda has not, we're lagging behind. But these efforts that are coming in are very important for us to support because it's going to bring a lot of value. The number one biggest tourism expo in the world is ITB. It's in Berlin. Every March, the people in Berlin look forward to that time because there's a lot of business that flocks because of the exhibition. But at the same time, it brings value in terms of business to Germany because when you host an expo, for example, in Germany, every part of Germany comes as an individual entity to just sell themselves. So it gives you a chance to focus on these millions of people that have turned up for exhibition. The second biggest is WTM, which happens every November. So the UK looks forward to that as well. The third biggest is Indaba in South Africa. I can tell you that it's unfortunate for the street kids, but they clean the streets just because there's going to be a lot of opportunity. But when you're at Indaba, you see KwaZulu-Natal coming as a different, Cape Town comes as a different exhibitor. And this is something that brings a lot of money. So you're going down. Now, for us as Uganda, we need to put a lot of efforts. I think you guys listening in from Minister of Finance, we need to put real money behind this whole campaign and also put real money behind activities. Like let's have like MTN Marathon. Bring in, America alone has got 21 million marathoners. Why don't we see 1 million runners coming from the US to come and attend the MTN Marathon so that all the rooms are occupied, all the food is occupied, is eaten. That's what we're talking about. Namugongo, every 3rd of June, man. How many Nigerians can afford to come here? Millions of Nigerians that can afford to come here. They're Kizitos in Nigeria. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Now, we should take advantage of all this of Poate. Poate is Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo. So it's important that we all rally behind it. When it happens, please come and turn up with your families. Let the people come and learn about the different opportunities available in the country.
Now, Peter, you are in the MICE space, okay? A lot of people out there, just to make sure I'm being clear, I don't mean the mice as in, yes, the rats, okay? But when we come, mice have been hit very hard by the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Is there an opportunity to get back, to reorganize ourselves, and to say, okay, do we come back better? Because I'll tell you what, I believe one of the greatest things that COVID-19 has done for us is given us a chance to sit back and reflect and reorganize ourselves. So we come back bigger and better. In your opinion, is there an opportunity for MICE?
For our audience, MICE stands for meetings, incentives, conferences, and events. So that's how we coin the MICE, and it's world over. Now, I asked one of the guys at the reception, I asked him, how come you're so excited to see us? And he goes, Peter, I'm back on the job. Now, that's a very positive sign. It shows that our heads are coming out of the water and that there's a very, very good sign. Before COVID, we all traveled. We hugged, we shook hands. It was merry and we were meeting. And then February came, the whole world went to a standstill. We lost business. There was a lot of meetings that were scheduled for Uganda, they were cancelled. There was a lot of refunds to be made. A lot of us were going under our desks because we didn't want that conversation. Now, the impact that we have here is that because there's lots of business, a lot of our people lost jobs. The women and the youth, because they do temporary jobs, those completely lost their jobs and we couldn't know where to put them. We had to lay off and pay half price. Now, coming from that and seeing that Poate is bringing life back to our business events is a good thing that we see. However, we still have to fight something. When COVID came, a lot of social media platforms came up. A lot of them told the truth, a lot of them told false news. Now, when you tell somebody in Spain, for example, that Uganda is having the worst bout of COVID, they'll change their minds about coming. So we've had to spend a whole year telling the world that Uganda is safe. Please don't listen to that and firefighting. Right now, with Poate, and what I see that is going to happen is that we shall reconnect with the world. We shall reboot, as you rightly said. We will have people, we've been told that there's about 400 sponsored guests that are coming to meet us online. So that's going to give us, the Ugandans and the Ugandan business community, a lot of opportunity to reconnect, to show that Uganda is safe, and to tell the truth. And we're also going to be able to tell them and to hear from them what's happening in their source markets. So I think that as COVID goes away, Uganda gets this chance to get exposed, to learn, to reconnect, to rethink. A lot of the wise people have gone into other businesses. My friend Amos has gone into agriculture, but he's keeping tourism as the core. So it's a thing that has come to light as well as a result of COVID, that we are now beginning to see the world in a different light, that we can, after all, do farming and still do tourism. So yeah, it's hard. It's positives and negatives, but I'm happy that we're coming out.
Peter is actually extremely very brilliant space. If you look at MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, and events, is a massive business across the world. Up to 4 years ago, the value of MICE was $400 billion. And they expect that by 2030, it's going to be 1 trillion business. People coming to your country for conferences. Now, when we harness conferences, like we're going to be harnessing this, the studies show that 6 out of 10 people that come to your country, if you work it so well, will come back within 5 years, bring their families back to the country to spend. So we take advantage of this. But of course, we also want to explain to the people to understand what wholesalers are. If a country like Uganda, I am called a destination management company because I handle the tourists that come from everywhere into Uganda. I also handle Uganda. So I manage your destination as say Great Lake Safaris or Safari Chapter or Drift. They manage that. But then you have what they call wholesalers. So a wholesaler could be a company like TUI, Thomas Cook, say in German. That guy takes tourists to about 160 countries. Now, where Uganda now comes with an expo, is to tap into the numbers. And these guys deal with millions of tourists. They have charters that go different places. So what Uganda Tourism Board and all of us are trying to do is to make sure that that person who does 160 destinations minus Uganda actually appreciates the fact that Uganda is a tourism destination. That's what we're doing now.
I want to look at it from the point of view of investment. I want to encourage the Ugandans who can actually invest. If we look back in 2018, Uganda was rated the 10th best destination in Africa for mice.
Wow.
And in 2019, we got to the 6th position, the 6th best position. I believe that if there was no interruption with the pandemic,
on our way out.
Yes, we would be doing much better by 2020 as well. And we're putting focus there. It's one of the strategies in UTB we are using to position Uganda as a MICE destination as well, for the reasons that Amos has already, explained in terms of the economic values. So what does this actually mean? Yeah, if we are really going to harness this and get Uganda positioned as the #1 best MICE destination in Africa, we don't have enough facilities. We need Ugandans to invest. When people come in, they want somewhere they're going to sleep. They want facilities for recreation. They want food, drinks, whatever. So we need the Ugandans who can afford to invest in tourism, because the future is there.
You have mentioned something very interesting in terms of the opportunity. Now, will Poate present that, especially now that we're launching Poate? Will Poate present the numbers? You talked about guys plugging into the wholesalers. So when I actually attend Poate, so I don't need to necessarily be somebody who's directly in the tourism industry. I could be a farmer, but of course there's a huge correlation to the number of tourists who come into Uganda, because I strongly believe a lot of people don't understand that these things are all closely interlinked. The number of tourists goes up, food produce goes up, other auxiliary services go up, because the farmer now needs more pesticides. So me who's selling pesticides, my business goes up. I mean, everybody benefits. I mean, my kids can go to a better school, so the school owners also benefit. So
that's why it's called everybody's business.
Yes.
Everyone benefits directly or indirectly
from tourism. Yeah. So will Poate present that to everybody out there?
Absolutely. The setup of Poate event is that, one, we have exhibitors. So anybody can be exhibitor. You don't have to have a tour company, hotel, travel agency. If you have a coffee product, it's an opportunity to come and exhibit at Poate. Tea, come and exhibit. The crafts,
and got stuck.
So tourism offers a huge opportunity of bringing in investors even to other sectors other than just tourism sector only.
I want to give an example. An example of what she's just talking about. Is the guy who runs the Haven. I think Dennis, you know the guy.
Rainer.
The German guy.
Yeah, Rainer.
Rainer was riding a bike all the way from South Africa across Africa.
Wow.
The guy told me the moment I hit Ginger Bridge, I realized this is where I'm supposed to be.
That was the end of his safari.
Yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. He said, I went back to German. He was an IT expert. Sold whatever he did, put stuff in containers, came, bought 5 acres first, I think, on the Nile. And the rest is history.
And just to add to that, some of the formation of the rafting companies out here in Uganda, lots of them came as adventure seekers. They came onto the river. They have heard about this beautiful river. They came to kayak the river. And when they ran the river, they found such amazing volumes of water, a huge river, very warm, very clean, and nice to be at. So they went back home, assembled their resources, got a couple of buddies to come around, and they ran the trips. And that gave them the momentum. So what we are trying to say is that, yes, with the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, we are going to put the brand Uganda up there.
Yeah.
Being that the world had come to a stop and people were, everybody was focusing on COVID and how to avoid COVID, it is a very nice time to come into their space and tell them, yes, this is Uganda, we are the Pearl of Africa, this is what we have on offer, these are the lifetime experiences we can give all of you out there. But then also there is more to it that can actually drive the economy to where we want it to be in the future.
We have very good speakers, experts from across the world, experts in the subjects we are going to be discussing, investments, marketing, how do you market and brand yourself as a business. These are gurus in their own, areas, and we have been able to fish them and get them onto the program of Poate. So the seminar programs are there running each day. So anybody out there, and especially for the Ugandans, we have organized this. We should not just let the other international people benefit more than ourselves, because we as Uganda Tourism Board has put this together so that we can facilitate the growth of tourism development in Uganda. So there's a lot to learn, and we are talking about investment in tourism. We want to encourage you to invest. That is a platform where you're going to learn, and get to know where, how, what, when you can actually invest in tourism, because the experts will be sharing their knowledge with you. So we are on, and Poate is for each and every one, and not only those who are doing business in tourism now. We would want to encourage those who want to invest in tourism to use this opportunity to learn how they can actually do it. And there's also opportunity of partnership. Yeah. As you get on the platform, you will meet other people, because there are also trade visitors. The trade visitors, people who are just walking in. You're not showcasing anything. You're just coming in to learn, participate in the seminars, visit different stalls, the booths, see what facilities are there, what is being showcased. This is not limited to Ugandans. There are people from across the world, who are walking in. And we have the database. So on the platform, you can actually also make meetings with them. And you can have this as an opportunity of partnership as well. So great opportunity for Ugandans, not only for tourism sector, but for everyone. I really would like to urge all Ugandans to take up the opportunity and make the best use of it.
Peter, Lily has touched on a lot about to do with innovation. Now, I remember Dennis mentioned that his experience with rafting was, it reached a point, it was no longer exciting. Now, in terms of innovation in the MICE space, is there anything that we can do and be innovative because we're talking about rebooting, we're talking about reopening, we're talking about coming back with a bang. But we cannot come back doing things the same way.
It's true.
So what do you think as a professional we can do?
Well, first of all, we know that COVID has not left the world, and we still have it. So we must be as innovative as the world. We need to have hybrid events. If you're a MICE practitioner and you have something virtual, but also have a number of people that are interested in the whole, that creates more value. So one, we've got to get into hybrid events. That's one. We've got to harness a lot of the social media. I know that on social media, of course, we keep the distance. So it's healthy. We just need to keep using and tapping into the social media so that we can harness as many links. Because, with MICE, an event can take you 3 years and you're looking for the same. The beauty here is that with Poate, it's an annual event, and you can be sure that you'll meet the same people or even better people every year, and you can continue to pull off those events. But we're also going into a lot of technology. So technology advancement is going to help us to make sure that our MICE events run smoothly without all the health hiccups that we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, innovation in terms of hybrid and technology advancements.
All right, Amos, in terms of innovation, where do you see us plugging in?
When we talk about mice, my friend is very conversant with, people are looking for unique destinations for mice. Why has Mombasa, for example, why is Indiani Beach surviving on Ugandans? Why do we have 230 to 33,000 Ugandans going to Indiani? Why are weddings happening there? The reality is that if you had weddings by Mount Kadama in Moroto, in Karamoja, with all those nice views, outcrops of mountains from every angle, beauty that exists there with a backdrop of Pianupi Game Reserve. It would be fantastic. Lake Victoria, we have groups of islands called the Sess Islands. They're 84 in number. I've been to about 50 or 60 of them when I was a tour guide.
I've been to 2.
You've been to 2.
Yeah.
You have a long way to go, my brother.
Yeah.
You have a group of the islands called the Sess Islands. Then you have a group of islands called the Kome Islands. You've got so many other different types of islands on Lake Victoria. But imagine you went to Bukasa. Bukasa is the second largest island among the 84 islands. There's a waterfall on that. There's a river on the island. There are monkeys, different types of species of monkeys on the island. There's trees that you see that fell about 200 or maybe 50 years ago. White sand beaches, completely unexploited. Imagine a nice conferencing hall on that island. And I know that Sudil has bought one island. He has an island that's going to be building beautiful chalets, the sun, and conference facility. Such is what we need for Uganda. But also taking advantage of just the lake. Look at Entebbe. Now Entebbe, people need to start thinking. I also need to start thinking because I have a bit of interest in Entebbe. It will be a place where people just arrive, do meetings, fly back out of the country. And we need to take advantage of Uganda Airlines. That's one of the best things that has happened to the country, Uganda. And the airline is not necessarily a business, but it is an infrastructure. What the airline is going to do is flocking people. Of course, with Uganda Airlines working with Uganda Tourism Board, we're going to have direct flight, my man, out of London into Entebbe. British Airways used to do a flight, 189-seater plane. They used to have an average of 173 clients on every route. Now we need to go to get those English guys coming here for meetings, those Kenyans coming for meetings, South Africans coming for meetings. And then we tell the population, when these guys are here, take full advantage. And that's what she was talking about. You're in a craft business, how are you taking advantage? You're in a food business, how do you take advantage? If you're in a car hire, what are you doing? If you're in boda boda, what are you doing? You must be part of this whole big game called tourism.
Well, Dennis, there are some festivals, I'll not name some of them, but which have been known to be exciting and that kind of stuff. Yes, because he's a known participant. So are those some of the innovations that we can tap into, to bring also a fun side to tourism?
Absolutely.
And plug in so we have both domestic and foreign tourism actually meeting at some point.
Correct.
Yeah.
You just feel shy of mentioning the Nyege Nyege. It is one of the biggest, I presume, in the whole of East Africa, one of the biggest fun festivals that there is. When you look at the sort of numbers that have come around, Ginger runs out of accommodation within those times. You look at the number of stages that have cropped up at Nyege Nyege. For the very first one, I think there were about 2 stages or 1. The last one that we attended before COVID happened was an amazing experience with a very good story. But what do those sort of events also mean for this destination as Uganda? Uganda has one of the youngest populations in the world.
Correct.
Now, this sort of population market actually likes to do things with fun, things that are funky, things that are outgoing. And exactly those are the sort of events, this is what those sort of events breed. So what do we have to do as a destination? We need to actually come up and package around some of those events. Maybe have 2-day excursions, 3-day excursions, one-day excursions around some of those events, but then also go hard onto some of these other events that will create numbers domestically. There is a very popular rugby season of the rugby sevens. When that happens, you will see a lot of Ugandans going with the national sevens team to Kenya for the rugby sevens. That happens down here as well. When you look at the rugby sevens or the World Rugby Series in Dubai, in South Africa, in Australia, you look at the cricket seasons where, for example, South Africa goes to play India, or Pakistan plays against Bangladesh. You will be amazed about the sort of numbers that come alongside those events.
Yeah.
So if we can build our destination as well around some of these events that bring quite a lot of fun, that are quite appealing to the younger generation, which we have the biggest number of a population in, we will certainly get better margins out of there. But also what happens with some of these events, we've seen that they will appeal a lot to the domestic market, but will also appeal a lot to the regional market. Now, with COVID happening, we have seen that lots of big destinations are saying they're going to come back fast. How? They're going to come back fast with regional travel. Now, what does Poate put on the table? It actually appeals so much the domestic market, but then also for the regional market.
Yeah.
Now, the domestic market and the regional market helps you to bridge some of these gaps when you have some of these big crises, like COVID, like travel advisories. They could limit the number of tourists, of international tourists that come in, but they will the domestic market and the regional market will help you bridge some of those gaps. So focusing on some of these events that are appealing to the region will certainly give us better revenue, but then also will make this destination quite popular.
Yeah.
And the brand Uganda that we are all believe in will get stronger and stronger.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, please.
One thing that should be clear. Carnival is one of the examples that Ugandans must sit out there and start thinking about very creative ways of doing things, because then Uganda Tourism Board can support energies that are coming out. We cannot all just sit there expecting Uganda Tourism Board to do everything.
To do everything.
These things must be done by us.
Yeah.
And he's done a fantastic job explaining, but he has not told you how many empty compounds in Jinja make money during Negenyeke. Every restaurant is filled. Every border person has business. Every restaurant, you have to book a seat in advance. That's what it's like. Now, it's not even reached the stage of, for example, you have heard of the Brazilian Carnival. The Brazilian Carnival in 6 days makes $2 billion. Ugandans must understand, $2 billion in 6 days. Uganda makes about $1.6 billion a year from its total collection. And yet, Ugandans are extremely very friendly people. They are joyous people, you know. And even us, we're thinking, and I'm saying this because we were hosting Khalid recently, you know, as Great Lakes Safaris. UTB came in and made sure that it's happening. We're going to be hosting probably NFL players soon who are also interested in this. Probably in 2 months' time, they're coming to Uganda. But when you start innovations, then the Uganda Tourism Board can just plug in and we all develop the country together.
Uganda Tourism Board sets the framework, you know, to give support to the private sector who are actually the business people in the tourism sector. So when we organize Poate, we are supporting the private sector. When we say register, get licensed by UTB, and we grade and classify your hotels, we are helping you to market your hotel, because when people out there, when they're booking their trips to Uganda, somebody already knows in their mind that within my budget, I will use a 3-star hotel. If UTB grades your facility, we are helping to market your facility, because somebody will go booking online, they will find the list of the 3-star hotels in Uganda, and they will choose from that. So as Uganda Tourism Board, we provide the infrastructure, the general support. So every other Ugandan in the tourism business, you know, as said already, come up with the innovations. Come and tell us, there is this, and we think as the tourism board, you should take on this and broadly support all of us, because we are neutral. We are supposed to support every business person in the tourism
Yeah.
sector.
So, and then also all these other big social groups that travel around, they could actually package something,
Yeah.
come out. So these are the sort of opportunities that we are saying.
Yeah.
At Poate, if these discussions are happening, they are happening with the domestic market. And all these people that organize group travels know these things. The moment they know it and come out, then we will build a vibrant traveling society amidst Ugandans.
Now, okay.
So if you can let us know, those different groups, what you are doing, then how we can help as Uganda Tourism Board is to promote those trips,
Yeah.
so that the Ugandans who don't know can actually get to know and be able to join you on the different trips.
We've reached that point where we do have to start wrapping up. So, Peter, I'm going to ask for your parting shot directly towards Poate. What do you have to tell everybody out there?
Well, first of all, this is a point where we say thank you to UTB and the ministry and the government for putting together Poate. I'm happy to be a part of the committee. I want to encourage everyone that's watching us, everyone that has signed up for Poate, please sign up, be accredited. If you're Ugandan, please be an exhibitor. You will have as many meetings as we've planned for, about 40 meetings per company, and that should surely give you a lot of hope and a lot of connections. See you then.
First, great thanks to Uganda Tourism Board. But again, guys who are listening out there, first, instead of complaining, come and participate, come and engage Uganda Tourism Board. If they fail, then complain. Don't just sit there. They've told me so and so and so and so. No. Come and engage them. That's what I do. I engage them. If anything doesn't work, I complain. But most times it works. So it's good for you to not just complain from the outs. Otherwise, this country belongs to all of us. Let's push it forward.
Thanks to UTB for the platform that you're creating. We know that the Poate platform is going to create demand. We will certainly be there as tour operators on this platform to answer any queries. Probably, I know a lot of potential tour operators have packaged right. They are going to create this buzz around this destination. And all we are trying to say is that this Poate platform is helping to actually build confidence on our destination. Some of us may not get direct business today, yes, but what are we trying to get out of this? What we are trying to get out is we are saying this destination is safe, this destination is good, come whenever you can. And we will be here to give you a good service. So thank you so much, UTB, for the platform that you have created.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Amos. Thank you, Peter. It was
We're
great.
P squared.
Peter. And I want to start by thanking everyone. UTB has not single-handedly organized Poate. We have a national organizing committee that consists of members from the private sector. We have different government agencies as well, of course, with the leadership of our Ministry of Tourism, that we have been able to get Poate organized. One thing I want the viewers to understand, and the Ugandans to be proud of, is that within the region, we are the first destination. We are the first destination to organize a virtual expo. And I think we need to be proud of ourselves for setting the pace for the others in the region. So let's make use of this opportunity. Thank you all, and for all those who have already registered. Of course, we thank our partners, the internationals who have registered as the buyers, and trade visitors as well, those who are coming to share their knowledge with us in the seminars. And I have my team. I shouldn't forget to thank my team. My team have been working tirelessly. we have been learning as we are organizing this. We are not experts in organizing virtual expos, but after this Poate, I believe we have the capacity to help our neighbors organize theirs.
Yes.
We are so happy, to have you all. You're most welcome to take part, make business, learn, and get to know what this country has to offer. The potential is so huge. We can't say it all, but thank you. See you at Poate. Do not miss this opportunity. Thank you.
We just want to say a big thank you. Stay tuned. This week is going to be an action-packed week. Just as the CEO has said, can't say anymore. See you at Poate. So let's count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Poate
2021.
Welcome to Poate 2021 on my birthday.
Hey!